All right, hey, how's it going? So what I have here, this is my device. It's called a CompuBias, and it reads the bias of the vacuum tubes on the power amp. And here's the power amp. So we're gonna power it up. We have it on a load, meaning like a speaker. It's not a speaker, it's a resistor. So we have that on an 8 ohm load. And what we'll do is we dial up some numbers here on our CompuBias thing. Check that and see what happens. And then we can look at also check some power here. So look for DC voltage. And see what we get here on the control grids of the tubes. There's a spot in here where I go on the socket and I can measure. And look up here, and you can't see it because it's over on the side, but here it says for negative minus 49,321. So that's the bias of the tube, and we like to set it up actually for the current. So what we're going to do is turn the high voltage on, power up the tubes, and this drifts up to minus 47 on both of them. And this one's minus 48, give or take. So that's not bad. All right, and then what we have here on the CompuBias, it says that we have 440, 438, 39, 40 volts at the plate of the vacuum tube. And the current it's drawing is 22 and 29 milliamps at 9.6 and 12.7 watts. These tubes are no longer really matched. They're normally you would use a matched pair, but tubes are real expensive, so we're going to try to save these. But these are considered 6L6 GC maybe, or just 6L6. So 8 to 13 watts, or up as much as 21 watts. So I'll dial around on the pot here. There's a pot, and I can dial around on it, and I can get a different reading when I do this on the CompuBias device. And so here I'll just dial on the pot and see what I can do with the CompuBias, and I can bring the current around where it wants to be, and I can get 25 to 30 milliamps out of it at 10.9 and 13.5 watts, and that's somewhere in the GC range. Now these may not be GC tubes, but we can play the amp at this range and try it and see what we get. And that's really the best thing to do with this kind of thing. So here I have my readings on my test, and 10.9 and 13.9, 13.5. It swims around a little bit. We get 31 milliamps on one tube, 25 on the other. Again, they're not matched. They're old tubes. So the customer may want to replace his tubes, but that's up to him, because that's another $100, and this amp's up in the $500 repair range right now. So that'll be up to the customer if he wants to do that. And there you go.